You know, for over a year, I've been talking about City Hall, about how dirty City Hall was. Many of you in the press had a nice laugh because I rolled manure into our campaign headquarters and said that something stinks at City Hall. Some of you thought that was some sort of gimmick. Now we all know that what I was speaking was truth. The dirtiness of City Hall, the things that happen inside of City Hall, the corruption in City Hall, the insiders who get all the contracts, the campaign donors and the cronies and all the people that are friends with the mayor. We can't even provide the basic services in the city of Houston, whether that means hiring more police or fixing the streets that are just almost undrivable, or paying firefighters fairly, or even picking up the trash on time. We can't do. We even put recyclables in the dump. This is a defining moment of this campaign. This is a defining moment of this campaign. The question for voters who have not yet made up their minds is, who can you trust? Who can you trust? Who will look at you directly in the eye and lie to you? And who can you trust? It is time for change. People are watching, not just all the cameras in this room, but people are watching on Facebook Live and Instagram and watching, and they want to know what is going on in the city of Houston. And more importantly, people from outside of the city of Houston are watching. We are being defined in the city of Houston about how we handle issues such as this. When we have a mayor who will look directly into the camera, directly to a well-established and well-respected reporter and lie to his face. But let's get to the facts. Houston Airport System's intern program offers internships that last for 8 weeks, with participants working between 32 to 40 hours a week. And according to internet sources, specifically Glassdoor, which is a respected source, the compensation level for paid interns range between $8 an hour on the low end to $21 an hour on the high end, with no benefits included. And that makes a lot of sense because I run a lot of businesses and I have interns every summer and every year. Many of the interns that I hire are unpaid because they just want the experience. They want to get an idea about what the business that we're in, whatever business it is, specifically in the legal business, we have interns. And in the event that we have an intern that's been there 1 or 2 years, sometimes we pay them. We certainly just pay them hourly and we don't provide benefits. And that's common in the industry. And certainly for a public entity, that would be common. $8, $21 an hour seems high, but certainly no benefits. The individual that we heard about last night, that I've been hearing about for many, many months, is a man by the name of Marvin Agamagu, who was given a base salary of $95,000 a year, with an internship of 18 months to 2 years, providing him the option of making this a permanent job. Now I want you to let that soak in for a minute. How many interns are given $95,000 a year, and it's with benefits, with their option of making it a permanent position? Let's put that salary in perspective. Did you know that a first-year firefighter makes $40,000 a year? Think about that. A first-year firefighter makes $40,000 a year on average. After 20 years, our firefighters in the city of Houston, if they're lucky, make about $52,000 a year. Let's put that in further perspective. Our first-year police officers in the city of Houston make about $42,000 a year. According to the union president, or the past union president who I exchanged texts with last night, he says that the average police officer in the city of Houston makes about $60,000 a year. At the top end, at the very top for a police officer, you're looking at maybe $80,000 a year. This intern, who was in law school at the time, who was supposed to be trying to prepare himself to graduate law school and prepare himself to take the bar, was given a job based on 3 emails for $95,000 a year. The mayor claims he can't find the money to pay firefighters or fix our streets or pay to hire more police officers or to do something about the last flood or prepare ourselves for the next flood. But based on 3 emails, he can hire an intern for $95,000 a year with benefits. Now, shouldn't we know why he did that? There's been some in this crowd on Twitter who have suggested that this is some attack on the mayor and the mayor's lifestyle. It has nothing to do with that. This is an attack on the mayor and the way he runs him and conducts himself as a public official. That's what this is. Any public official who can send an email and create a salary of $95,000 a year for somebody who's part-time, who has no experience whatsoever in airport business, and then when asked, do you know this person, deny knowing him, we got a real credibility problem. If you wonder why this city is going in the wrong direction, I think we all know why it is. But let's talk about some questions that should be asked. Why was this internship created? Especially for somebody that the mayor claims he doesn't know. Why would the mayor lie about knowing this person? Why? Shouldn't we know why he lied? Is this individual a campaign donor? Is his family a campaign donor? The mayor doesn't know him. Why would a young man with a master's degree and a law degree want to be an intern? The mayor doesn't know him. Shouldn't we know what their relationship is? The mayor doesn't know him. Let's not forget that. Shouldn't we know how many times they met? The mayor doesn't know him. Shouldn't we know how many events they attended together? But let's not forget, the mayor doesn't know this man. Should we know how many times Marvin Agimugo visited City Hall? But the mayor doesn't know him. Let's forget that. The mayor doesn't know him. Shouldn't we know how many trips they took together? The mayor doesn't know him. Why didn't Marvin list his position, this position on LinkedIn? He listed every other position he ever had, but not this one. The mayor doesn't know him. Why did Marvin need a personal assistant on behalf of Sylvester Turner for a celebrity basketball game? Did you know that? But the mayor doesn't know him. What about the human resources rules in the city of Houston? Do those matter anymore? Or special treatment and discrepancies? Look, let's be clear. The mayor doesn't know this young man. He's made that very clear. He was asked multiple times. Do we have the video? He was asked multiple times. The mayor doesn't know him. Show me.
Relationship with Marvin Agumagu? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hey, my name is Marvin Agumagu. I'm with the mayor's office. Hey, my name is Marvin Agumagu. I'm with
The mayor doesn't know him. But the young man says he's with the mayor's office. Listen. The credibility of our city, people are looking at us. The question is, where do we go from here? And let's talk about the relationship between this young man and the mayor. Let's see the picture of the young man in the mayor's office. The young man in the mayor's office. I'm going to read to you what he said, and I'm going to pass it out to you so you will all have it. No, not that one. Earlier this afternoon, this is Marvin Agumagu. These are his words that he posted. Now, you won't find this on the internet anymore because it's all been taken down. It's all disappeared for some reason, but let's see what he says. Earlier this afternoon, my mentor, Mayor Sylvester Turner, requested that I come to his office to update him about how the elections were going. Did you hear what I just said? The young man that the mayor doesn't know was requested to come to the mayor's office to talk about some election that was being held at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. This picture captured the moment when I told him that I advanced to the runoffs and that the city is closer to having an experienced advocate for Thurgood Marshall School of Law. But the plot thickens because the mayor, for this man that he doesn't know, wrote a rec letter. You want to hear it? To whom it may concern, I am writing this letter in support of Marvin Agamagu's campaign for Mr. Thurgood Marshall School of Law. As a council aide working in City Hall, I have had the opportunity to get to know Marvin personally. I have experienced Marvin's professionalism in different capacities. Marvin is a beacon of light. He is very giving, honest, trustworthy, and dependable person. I want to encourage every voter at Thurgood Marshall School of Law to cast their vote to elect Marvin Agamagu as their next Mr. TMSL. This is the guy that he doesn't know. This is the guy that he created an internship for. But it plot thickens. Did you know that those two exchange texts, routinely exchange texts? And let's be clear. There are a lot of other people than just, I don't want to single out Marvin Agamagu, who've received sweetheart deals at taxpayer expense. There are a lot of people. We could talk about the mayor's daughter, who they created a position for at Lone Star College. We could talk about his longtime friends who get contract after contract after contract with the city and with the airport system. We could talk about his donors, the Harvard graduate, University of Houston law professor, who threw him a fundraiser and in return received 40% of the airport vending business. So it's not just Marvin. But shouldn't we be exploring this mayor's relationship with all of his friends, associates, family members, and whatnot? And I would respectfully suggest to you that there are many, many more that we have yet to mention. Many, many more individuals who the mayor has exchanged texts with. Stay tuned, because this story is just beginning. The public who pay these monies have an absolute right to know. I think most people who are reasonable, most people are not trying to make this into something it's not, like our illustrious Houston Chronicle, who see this as a public official who is misusing public money. Most people would say there should be an investigation. Sylvester Turner has a history of awarding his buddies and his friends and his family members public money. That's his history. It's all about relationships with Sylvester Turner. Remember, he created this internship during a hiring freeze. During a hiring freeze in all departments, he created a $95,000 with benefits. This wasn't an internship program that existed. He made this up out of whole cloth for somebody, and we're going to have to ask him why. So we have an airport director that many of us have questioned. Why is he still the airport director?
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yes.
When you have a project that is well past its deadline, where you've wasted $73 million of public money to build an $11 million program manager's office that has no water, you would think that the airport director's head would roll. Certainly in private enterprise it would. So you have to ask yourself, why is Mario Diaz still the airport director? I would respectfully suggest to you that he created a job for the mayor's intern. The mayor is compromised. The mayor is compromised. He's not just compromised with the airport director, who has done him favors based on a few emails, went out really way out on a limb. And so when we get, and you have really enterprising and hard-charging reporters who expose these things, but you see nothing happen. This whole airport debacle, I was just scratching my head. The easy thing for the mayor to do would have just terminated or asked for the resignation of Mario Diaz. And if you know anything about what happened there, lay aside the fact that that particular project, the renovation of that terminal, is more than half a year past schedule. But also think about the fact that they figured out, after spending $85 million, they spent it on a flawed plan and had to go back to the drawing board and had literally almost nothing to show for it. Now we know why he didn't call for the termination of Mario Diaz, because he couldn't. Because Mario Diaz had created a sweetheart internship. So, tomorrow night, we are going to have a debate. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm ready for it. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a debate. And I would encourage Channel 13 and Univision to ask some questions. Not your typical, what are you going to do about flooding? You know, what's the crime rate in Houston and how would you change it? But why not ask the mayor, who refuses to answer any questions and refuses to reasonably even respond to Freedom of Information Act requests? Why not ask him, who is Marvin? What is your relationship with Marvin? Why did you go out on a limb and create an internship for somebody that has no experience whatsoever in airport business? None. And why did you agree to pay him $95,000, which is more than twice what you pay a trained firefighter who's working in one of the fire stations? Let's see if the press asks those kind of questions, because those are the kind of questions I believe, in my view, the press should be asking. Now, Turner's going to get real desperate. He's going to get desperate. You know, he's been attacking me incessantly for more than a month. He wants to make this a national election because he wants to try to distract us from what's happening in the city of Houston. Let's not allow him to do that. Let's focus on the here and now, what's happening in the city of Houston. I'm calling now for a complete investigation from the Public Integrity Unit. There should be an investigation from the Public Integrity Unit to figure out why a position was created for somebody who had no experience, who obviously has some relationship, and we can all speculate as to what that relationship is. To me, it's all about good government. Why did he do that? To the detriment of firefighters and police officers and the city of Houston. I'm also have put in a call to the AG's office and the governor's office. I think that this is a perfect investigation for the Texas Rangers to figure out what is actually happening. I'm also calling on our Harris County DA, because I still have faith that the Harris County DA, if presented with facts that are as egregious as this, that she may in fact act on these facts. And I'm calling on the press that every single time that you see Mayor Turner in public, and he's out there a lot with all of his photo ops, ask him the hard questions. And you know, the more interesting question, because this has come to light, is how many other internships has he created with just an email? And why? And why? So with that, I'll take a few questions, because I think that I think there's a lot that we all are wanting to know.
Tony, you mentioned text messages. Do you have?
We have the mayor's text messages that have been heavily redacted. What we know is he exchanged text messages with this individual back in 2018. What we don't know is the subject of those text messages, what they talked about. Now, let's put this in perspective. Why would the mayor of the city of Houston, why would this individual have his cell phone number? Number one, as the mayor of the fourth largest city in the country, I'm pretty sure you don't give your cell phone out indiscriminately. Number two, what possible reason could those two have in text messaging each other? We have FOIA responses that we've had for about a year, but as is par for the course for this mayor, they redact every single exchange. So all we know is they were exchanging text messages, but we don't know what they were talking about. So maybe that might be a question when we're at the debate. We could ask the mayor, why were you texting this man, and what is it that y'all were texting about, since he's somebody that you claim you don't even know who he is? I don't routinely text people I don't know. Do you?
Okay, did they redact the time that the texts were exchanged?
No, we have the times and we have the dates. We just don't have the subject of what they're talking
Was it
about.
during the workday?
It was during the workday and at the end of the workday.
Can you talk to us about the 3 emails that you mentioned at the beginning? You said
Those are all online. I got to give credit where credit's due. Mario Diaz from Channel 2 FOIA'd those, and it's in his report. If you go to the link, it shows you exactly the email traffic that literally 3 emails created this $95,000 position. It was essentially Marvin, and I don't want to keep butchering his name because I mean him no disrespect, but it was Marvin saying the mayor told me to reach out to Andy Itkin, for a possible position. Andy forwarded that to Mario Diaz, who was the airport director, not to be confused with the Mario Diaz from Channel 2. And then Mario Diaz said, I'm going to offer him a internship for 18 months to 2 years with the option of him coming on full-time at his option. And Andy Itkin responded, quote, good approach. Think about that for a minute. That's a, quote, good approach.
do you have the emails?
I can get them to you. I mean, they're we can pull them up and print them right now. I mean, they're on.
But your office never got them, like independently.
No. Anybody else?
Will the format of the forum tomorrow, will you have an opportunity to address him directly?
That's really up to Channel 13 and Univision. But in the past, what has happened? The debates around an hour. In the past, they do give candidates the opportunity to ask a question of other candidates. I just watched the last debate from the last election cycle, but that's really up to the folks putting the format together. My charge to the people asking the questions, because there'll be 2 questioners, I'm assuming, is to ask the mayor directly. Let's hear his answer, because we all know now that when he claims that he doesn't know this man, he wasn't being very truthful. And let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. If you can't trust your mayor on something like this, how can you trust him when he says we have a budget crisis and we can't pay firefighters? How can you trust him when he says, oh, I've reduced crime, I've filled 130,000 potholes, on and on and on? We have a major credibility problem at City Hall. I've been saying it now for 11 months, and now it's come to pass.
Do you have any reason to believe the mayor is compromised with this intern in any way?
I do. I think it was common knowledge that the mayor and this intern spent a lot of time together. And for him to, I think it's going to compromise his ability to be the mayor. But that's a small, as you know, I've been on your show many times. The bigger picture is not a relationship or whatever it is. I mean, it's not my issue. I'm not certainly going to criticize people and who they love and who they don't love. That's not my issue. My issue is you have a public official. You have a public official who creates a position for somebody, and we're paying for it. That's my issue. If he will do that, then don't you not believe that he will not be dishonest with us in a lot of other ways. That's my point. And we have a lot of things that ail us in the city of Houston. It's not just street maintenance. It's not just picking up trash on time. It's not just crime. It's not just paying firefighters. It's not just helping the people that were destroyed by the last flood or preparing for the next flood. It's the basic city services that are failing, and I think it's been demonstrated. I think this is a good indicator of how this mayor has operated, and I think it's time for a change.
Two questions quickly regarding the media that you showed us. The video of Marvin saying I'm with the mayor's office. Where is that video from?
That's from when they it's actually from a third party. It was sent to me. These documents were sent to me last night about midnight because they saw they didn't want to be named, but they saw the TV program. They saw the expose where the mayor came out and said, I don't know this person, never heard of him. They sent me these things, and then somebody on Instagram sent me that video, which when the city of Houston honored Trey the Truth, which is a local rapper here, the mayor had something to say. Marvin was with the mayor at the time. They were together. We've seen the mayor and Marvin at the Astros World Series celebration. So it's almost like the mayor may not believe that we're smart enough to figure out he's lying to us. It's not that hard. You just do a little Google and a little search. Even though I couldn't figure out, obviously a lot of this stuff that we have was taken off the internet. But the good news is people, like a lot of people in this room, are trying to ferret out the truth.
Sorry. So the video clip was sent to the campaign by a third party.
It's on Instagram even today.
Do you know which Instagram?
Well, it's easy to find. I mean, it's like really easy. All you do is just Google or search Marvin's name and it pops up.
Okay,
But his site is inactive. But because it was a third party that tagged him, it's still on there. So there's no way he could have taken it off.
okay. And then the social media post you have up there of the picture of the mayor and Marvin saying, I'm here with my mentor, blah, blah, blah. When was that posted and from which social media account?
Okay. We're going to give you a copy of it, okay? I mean,
It's
it's...
just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which one?
Yeah. Well, I think I said it was Facebook, and we can give you a copy. It's like so easy to find. I mean, this is from Marvin Agamugu, April 19, 2017. This is his post, his picture that he put on Facebook. Okay? Not hard to find. Just takes a little bit of digging. So it's not like this was made up. This was posted by Marvin. It's not really hard to find. The letter of recommendation was sent to the entire student body at Thorogood Marshall School of Law. Not hard to find. So look, this ain't stuff that you don't need a deep dive. This is stuff you can find pretty easily. Both of these were sent to us last night about midnight. The video that you saw, which is actually a much longer video, because there's a video of the mayor speaking and there's a video of Marvin standing behind him, videoing him with his phone. We cut that part out. We just showed you that Marvin's saying that he's part of the mayor's office. The point being, how can you say you don't know somebody when you are their mentor? You can have, and we'll hand out, and if any of you have any doubts about our documentation, we'll hand you copies. We found it and we'll happily provide it to you. Anybody else?
Why do you believe he's doing that? Why is he giving him the sweetheart?
I'm not going to speculate on that. Why don't y'all speculate on that? I don't know. I know that my question is a bigger question. How many more internships have been created? Why are some of these monies that we just scratch our heads are going this place and that place? Why are they going there? What is going on? How is it that we have a system in the city of Houston that you can literally with 3 emails create a $95,000 internship? Isn't there an HR department?
Yep.
Isn't there any accountability? Is there no checks and balances in the city of Houston? Did nobody ask questions? Why was it that Andy Itkin, when the internship was proposed by Mario Diaz, why did Andy Itkin say, quote, good approach? Why? Somebody asked me if I'm an airport director and somebody said, I'd like this guy to have a job, I want you to create a position for him, the first thing I would pick up the phone and say, okay, what's going on? Why? That makes no sense. We have an obligation to taxpayer. This is the outrage. It's just a few strokes on your computer, and all of a sudden a $95,000 job is created. So I hear you. I don't know the answer. I'm not going to speculate as to the answer. You know what? You want to know who you should ask? Ask the person that created the position. Ask the young man who received the position. That's who you ask. Take a look at the documents that created the position. They created the position with, it'd be one thing to say, we think it's a good idea to create an internship at the Houston airport. Here's the kind of people we want to attract for that. They created this position specifically for this person. They didn't create a position and then go out and find the people that could possibly fill it. They created the position for this particular person. The question you have to ask is, don't ask me. I didn't create that position. I would have never done anything foolish like that. Ask the mayor. He's the one that did it. Ask Mario Diaz. Ask Andy Itkin. Those are the three people involved in it. That's the point. This city needs a major leadership change. We need a major leadership change, and that's why I'm running for mayor. Thank you all for coming.